Hello guys. So in this video we're going to be going over creating a very simple website locally on our computer. All that means is that this website won't be accessible by someone else from their computer. In order to do that you would have to upload this web page to a server, but that's for another video later, or there's plenty of resources you can use online to figure out how to do that if you want to go ahead and figure that out for yourself. So we're going to dive right in. In order to develop this web page locally, we're going to need a code editor. And so we're going to use this code editor right here, Visual Studio Code, which you can go to this URL and download for your OS. Once you have Visual Studio Code downloaded, we will open up a new window right here. And let's go ahead and make this bigger. Cool. And we're going to go ahead and create a new file. So you should just get this kind of blank file, untitled. If you notice in the bottom right down here, it just says that this is a plain text file, a .txt. We don't want that. In order to make a website, you have to have a file that ends with .html. So we can easily do that within Visual Studio Code by clicking plain text, typing HTML, and then hitting enter. And you notice that you get these angle brackets, what's used for HTML up here, and you see HTML as your language mode. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do here is we're going to go ahead and save this file to somewhere on our computer. I suggest just creating a folder that you want to store all of your files in, your web pages in, or whatever, just so they're easy to find. So I'm just going to create mine right here, and we will call this, I don't know, simple example.html. Cool. And now you should see that where this file is saved right here. All right, cool. So I mean that's pretty much half the process right there. Now every HTML file has what we call boilerplate code. It's just code that there's no thought that goes into it. You have to write this code in order to start your web page, and this is pretty much the code right here. Um, I remember learning web development, and it's just kind of the first thing that was taught to me, and I always thought it was kind of weird, but it's one of those just no questions asked. You'll learn a little bit more as you go on. So within our HTML file right here, an easy way to get all of this code is just by typing HTML, and you notice some of these auto completions pop up right here. Let's say that for some reason they don't pop up. Usually you can hit Control plus space and you'll see them kind of pop up again. This all depends, of course, if you're using a different editor. Things may be a little bit different, but the code is overall still going to be the same. But we want this HTML:5, and if you hit enter, you should notice that it enters in automatically for you all of this code that you see right here as well. Um, cool. So, like I said, this is code that you just pretty much need for every web page. One thing that you can change right here is a title, and title for browser tab, and that's all that this controls. So, in order to see, we'll be able to see this in a bit, and you'll see what this title controls. But the title pretty much controls what you see on a tab. For example, going to google.com, what you'll notice in their title is Google. Let's see if we can easily find it right quick. Yeah, boom. So within their head, there's a title tag that just says Google, and that's what you see right there. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go back And we see within this website that I'm working on that this is what's called a comment. This isn't actually shown in the web page. It's just kind of what developers use to document their code. And we see that the actual web page content goes within the body tags. So everything within the body tags does show in the web page. Everything within the head tags does not show on the web page. Um, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna add something really simple here. Like I said, it's a simple web page. We're just gonna add a heading that says simple example. And if you're not familiar with what an H1 is, I use one of my favorite sites ever, how I pretty much learned web programming. It will help me learn most of my web programming. But if you go to W3 Schools, click on HTML, and they have this thing under HTML references, a tag list. You can pretty much, this list contains every single tag you can use for a website. All your little building blocks, as I like to call them. So we see here is an H1, and it's just a different HTML heading. And you can see what it kind of looks like right there. So that's essentially what we're doing, is we added an H1 into our website. And that's pretty much it. So we've created a very simple website locally on our computers, but this is all good and well. What you really want to see is what it looks like. Um, in order to do that, an easy way is you can right click and then hit reveal in File Explorer. If you're on the Mac, it'll say like reveal in Finder. And this is the location where we actually saved our website. You notice how it says the type, it's a Chrome HTML document. It just depends on your browser. My default browser is Google Chrome, but a web page opens up in your browser, obviously, right? So it recognizes that this is a .html file, a Chrome HTML document. Now, if we were to double click this file right here, you'll see that the web page actually opens up in whatever your preferred browser is. Now, one thing that you'll notice is this file right here, it's not your typical URL. It's not your typical HTTPS www.google.com or whatever it may be, whatever website you like to go to. Instead, it's this weird kind of file path, and it's on the C drive. And this is basically the actual location of the file on our computer. What you'll notice is these two, oops. But yeah, what you'll notice is these two file paths are the same. C users Chris documents web projects, simple example.html. C users Chris documents web projects, simple example.html. You'll notice this kind of weird %20, and that's just a URL encoding. A space for a URL is turned into this %20, but that's all that is. But we pretty much have our web page right here, right? We just had an H1 that says simple example, and that's what we see right here. Let's just kind of add one more thing, and I'll show you how you can update the page. Thanks for watching. We saved it. Make sure you save it. You can tell that you saved the web page because this little dot right here, if you see this dot in Visual Studio Code, at least it's not saved. If you don't see that dot and it's gone away, then your web page is saved. And we notice that we don't see this get updated though. So how do we get this to update? Some of you may have guessed, it's just a simple refresh. And just like that, we created a very simple web page locally on our computer only. No one else will be able to access this, but we can easily just keep programming and do some other cool things, and just continue to build our website and just play around with it. A great way to learn. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Hopefully this will help you kind of get started, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.